everybody. Welcome to episode 85 this time of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, who's mega with me tonight.
Maverick Hunter, Michael Coanger Hughes.
And the original Maverick, Bill Tucker.
Nice.
And that means you're hunting me? Does that mean you're hunting me?
I guess so.
I guess
I thought we were pals.
We shouldn't have went rogue because a virus came out from a different robot that was built thousands of years ago.
After you guys maybe watch that Spooktober movie, yeah, it's on.
It's the Mega Man X series. Like the basic storyline has to do with, well, we'll get there in a second, but yeah, I'll get that joke. One thing before we introduce what we're talking about, which you already know, is I actually have another podcast to give a shout out to. Nerd Radio, N3RD Radio, your national nerd net radio direct, the only radio station made for nerds. It's a guy who he streams for I think 8 hours every week. Talk about video game, movies, and TV. So there will be a link in the show notes for him. So definitely check him out. So if you needed something to listen to for 8 hours, this is the guy to listen to.
Hey,
I can't imagine doing that every 8 hours a day for once a week. I mean, I do a lot of recording and but I can't. No, I give him credit.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, and Bill, why don't you introduce what we're talking about?
We are talking about the 1993 classic from Capcom, Mega Man X. And again, this was developed by Capcom. It was the first in the Super Nintendo Mega Man series. Makes incredible use of the hardware and the expanded capabilities. And it's my new favorite game. It's finally supplanted Super Metroid as my favorite game of all time.
Better game.
It's really astounding, and I'm very excited to talk at length about it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, this game. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there's actually a plot. There is indeed a plot that I don't care about.
Yeah, there's definitely a start cutscene that I push start to get past. That is there.
Well, I didn't even know that. I want to say Zero was made first, but Zero had some virus in him, and that is what leads to the Reploid becoming Mavericks or something.
Yeah, so Mega Man X was Mega Man X, the titular character that you play as. He is, I believe, was developed by Dr. Light.
Yes.
To have sentient abilities. He has the ability to think and feel and make his own decisions. True AI in a robot. He dies before X is finished. So in an attempt to not throw this half-ready robot into the world, he sticks him in a capsule for 30 years, I think.
100 years.
100 years, something like that. And to be released at that time. But
you're right.
Go ahead.
Diagnostic capsule, 30 years of testing. Sorry, you're right.
That's it. Yeah, 30 years of diagnostic testing. And then there's a separate doctor, Dr. Kane, who uncovers X and releases him. Very excited about what he represents. So he says, forget Dr. Light, I don't care. Let's stick a gun in his hand. Let's go and fight these. Let's go fight these Mavericks, who are other sentient robots who have decided to go the other way and be criminal. So the Reploids, is that right? No, the Reploids. Some of them become hunters, and the hunters take on the Mavericks. And both Zero and Mega Man X are hunters. Mega Man is not terribly good at this at the very beginning, as we see, and Zero is kind of almost like a mentor figure for him, and that's where we're at. And then there's this dude Sigma, who does some evil plot he wants the Reploids to basically become the master race, kind of like Blade, basically the same. That we recorded an episode on Blade yesterday, and basically the same plot, I guess. So, just imagine Wesley Snipes in a Mega Man X costume, and I think you basically got the idea.
But hey, at least in this game, if motherfuckers are ice skating uphill, it can make sense because you can skate on ice, so it makes more sense.
You can dash.
But a witty one-liner that should not have been in the movie.
Yeah, and that's basically the idea of the game, the plot. Even though, again, if you're playing this game, you're not here for that.
Nobody gives a shit about the plot.
No, why would you? Why would you? It's very secondary, and it stays out of the way, unlike it does in other Mega Man series, other Mega Man games in this series, where it becomes more and more and more plot. Yeah. In this game, it's just in the background in case you want it, and in the foreground is beautiful gameplay, lovely graphics, and it's expertly tuned play. It's full expression. There's so many ways to approach a particular obstacle or enemy The weapons are across the board phenomenal to good, and the bosses are across the board phenomenal to good. There's a couple of downers in there. We'll talk about it, but it is an extraordinary game as far as design goes. It hits every mark it aims for and exceeds it. It is phenomenal, and I do definitely think this is now my favorite game. It was always Super Metroid. That was always it.
This is a better game.
But I think this is slightly better because I think there's just less down parts. There are some pretty rough parts of Super Metroid that people tend to paper over in their brain.
All of Meridia?
Yes, basically all the second half Meridia. Yeah, the wreck ship isn't great. The boss of the wreck ship is horrendous. He's not good. He's not fun.
No idea. Very, very vague. Remember what you're talking about?
Oh, Fantoon, I think his name is.
Yeah.
I played it. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Episode 1, actually.
But anyway, so yeah, what's your first experience with Mega Man X? Mine was I got it at release. I was a casual Mega Man fan, but I think when I got my edition of a Nintendo Power, I think it might have been their 50th or 100th anniversary issue. The cover was completely silver with an etched Mega Man X in the front. I think as soon as I got that, I was in. That was on the Christmas list. Santa, deliver it to me.
I can't remember why I got this game. My mom it's a game my mom found. I don't remember why she bought this for me or anything. I don't think I liked Mega Man. Like, I knew Mega Man 1 and 2 for NES. I didn't have an NES, but my friend had all the old NES games. I remember seeing 2 and 3 and 4 a lot because he wouldn't play 5 or 6. He didn't like those because he had a hard time with them. And I liked Mega Man, but I don't know why. I don't remember if I asked for Mega Man X or she just bought me Mega Man X, but I remember playing the hell out of this game when I was a kid. Never could beat it. Never beat it as a kid. Never even got past the spider in the first Sigma stage, really. I had a hard time with that.
That is hard.
I had a hard time with that playing for this playthrough.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's still a bitch.
He's really challenging. Yeah, not a wonderful boss, but it's definitely a hard part in that series.
Mega Man games have a hard time when it comes to anything. I mean, after the first 8 bosses, when you jump into the Wily or Sigma stages, they just go, let's just throw shit at the guy and piss him off. Like, he already had his fun. That's how I feel with them.
I think I was in the same boat where I never had it, but a friend had it, and I just remember playing it there. And I think this is where my love of animal motif started, because the element/animal is a cool pairing, and I love that they kept that going forward with this series.
Well, that's just their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is cool to see, though. I remember because, with the original Mega Man, you have the other version of it where you have them just going after man, I guess. It's much better. I like
they were like themed, Top Man and Hard Man and Magnet Man, and they were fine. But this time they went with an animal motif, which is pretty cool, and the designs are all really, really cool on them as well. And we'll talk about them each one in series. I'm assuming when we talk about their stages, and
we will be
stuff therein.
One question I do have is did anyone even know what the story was until recently? Because I played this game many times, and it wasn't until I've been doing games my mom found where I've been reading things, and I'm like, there's a whole, I didn't know Zero had something to do with the original virus that ends up infecting Sigma, and that Sigma was a Maverick hunter and then turned Maverick and all this other stuff. I never knew any of that until within a year.
You get more of the virus story in X4 and X5.
Okay, I've never gotten
that.
Yeah, I know. I'm too busy having fun.
It's like Bill said, as the games go on, it gets more grandiose with each entry. So,
well, I mean, the first one, you get a little bit of text that nobody cares about, and then the game just jumps right into. I remember you start off on a breaking up highway shooting robots, and the highway's crumbling around you, and it's just. I remember as a kid dying a bunch on this level when I played through it. I beat this game twice in the last week. 100% just because. And I'm like, how the hell did I die on this level as a kid? I remember dying a lot in this level, and I'm like, how? Oh, maybe Kid Mike wasn't too good at games. This
opening level might be one of the best 1-1s in the history of games, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic on it. It's a extraordinary, because 1-1 meaning introductory level, right? Opening level, and the whole idea of an opening level is to teach you how to play the game, give you the first initial tools, right? And it does such a wonderful job of onboarding in a really great and graceful and elegant way. It throws you right in. No stage select. This is your opening level. Here's your tutorial. without putting up text on how to hit your buttons. You're given plenty of room to play. Initially, of course, you're figuring out your shooting and you're figuring out your running. Your move set's pretty limited. Very quickly, you learn you can charge your beam, which is not new to this series, I don't think. I think in
Mega Man 3.
X4.
Or regular 4.
Regular 4.
Yeah, 4 you can charge your beam. So this is not new to the series. What is new and is a forced requirement for this to get past this level is the wall jump. And this might be my favorite wall jump mechanic in games because it's extremely intuitive. It's a force stick. So when you jump against a wall, you stick to it. Most of them do that, but the slide down is extremely elegant, unlike like a Ninja Gaiden where you stick and where you land is where you're stuck. Nor do you have to crawl up and down. You just kind of this slide and small bounce, and you can control how high you're bouncing when you're jumping. And the game forces you to learn this because this is most of the game. You need to master this immediately with that first pit. Yeah, you get these cool little mini bosses, the flying bee spaceships, where again it's kind of showing how important it is to charge beam and all that sort of thing. It's just glorious. And then it concludes with the villain Vile. That's the name of the villain who is in the giant the tank. And one other thing real quick. When you guys got to the end of that section, again, you have your flying enemies. Again, all this beautiful onboarding. Here's how to deal with flying enemies. Here's how stationary enemies work.
Yeah.
Here's how right to lefts work. And it give you all the tools you need. And then you get to the point where you have the dudes in the cars. If you are not using that car and riding that car to the spaceship,
you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong, and B, there's something wrong because that is so fun. And again, fun, expressive play. It's one of those things like, I shot the guy off the car. Can I ride on that thing? Yes, I can. And the more a game says yes, you can to the things it hopes you think, the better. So just another fun little cherry on top. So you get to Vile.
Oh, when the first time I had ever fought Vile, because I was a cheater and I used Game Genie when I was a kid, so I was invincible. This fight goes forever when Game Genie's on. You can't get hurt. And I remember doing it, and I'm like, I don't understand what's wrong. Like, I'm hitting him, nothing's happening. And it wasn't until, like, I think I must have, because this was before the internet days, I couldn't just read something, but somewhere I found out, let's turn off the Game Genie and see what happens. And then, he hurts you, and then he ends up grabbing you and hits you. But yeah, I just fought this fight for like 10 minutes because I just couldn't kill him.
I want to say in Maverick Hunter X for the PSP, they changed it so you can actually beat them to some degree.
Oh, really? I like the fact you can. It's an expression. It's also teaching you when your weapons don't work, right? Because you can shoot him all day and he gets a little electrical field every time you hit him, but he doesn't really flash or signal that he's taking damage. And if you know a Mega Man game, either there's either a knockback or you get some sort of visual signal that their damage is being incurred. You don't get that. So it feels very hopeless and very underpowered compared to, because for the most part, you've probably blown through that first level, especially if you've played a Mega Man game before. And
you have a lot of Mega Man games. Like you had the 6 regular Mega Man games before this, so you've had plenty to get used to it.
Yeah. Were all 6 before this?
Yes.
This was 93. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you've played a Mega Man game before, you're used to it. If not, even still, you just feel underpowered and clearly, obviously, he's trying to not kill you when your life gets to a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, it shows it, but not when you play with Game Genie on. You never see that.
Yes, then you're cheating yourself. So,
I'll never forget that. Like I remember I was so frustrated because I wanted to play this game and I just couldn't. And it was a long time before I understood. Like, oh yeah, just do this.
See, it works well in this game because it's the first stage, so you have to lose to progress. But like, when it's in an RPG and you're halfway through, I'm like, well, he's hit me really hard. Am I supposed to lose this battle?
You level up for 3 hours.
Either die when you're not supposed to lose it, or you use up all your items and you were supposed to lose it. Like, it's very annoying.
Yeah, there's very low stakes in this. It's fine. I agree with you. In an RPG, it's like, look, if you're gonna do that trick, then make it very obvious that I'm not supposed to, like, one hit. Mm-hmm. If you one hit me, all right, fine. Then I know.
You're doing 9,999 damage.
Exactly,
you know real way. Yep. I'm not supposed to win this
all right. I'm doomed, right? So maybe this is just the way it's supposed to be, and then you just move on with your life. Yeah, no. Don't fake me out after using all my high potions and half my my PP.
It does in this game. It does a decent job of teaching you, kind of like it doesn't. But I mean, again, except when you're a kid using Game Genie, then you have no fucking idea what's happening. But other than that, like I also love Vile. For some reason, I think Vile is one of the coolest characters. I don't know why, but I just really like him.
He's got a lot of Boba Fett energy.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I like him so much.
Probably your Star Wars love.
Yeah, Mike, you wouldn't be able to relate to that, I know, but
yeah, well, I know who Boba Fett is.
He's by far my favorite character in Star Wars, and Vile is probably up there one of my favorite characters just because of the way he looks, and weird coincidence there in Mega Man.
You can play as him in Maverick Hunter X. Which
we will cover in a mini someday. But also, like, one thing I find interesting, like, after you get after you get shot by that little electrical thing, and it freezes you. This is when Zero first shows up, and for the longest time, I always thought Zero was a woman. Longest time. It wasn't until years later because I never got later in this game where he's like, "Here, take this. He's dying" or something. Like there's something when they say he at some point. I want to say or him.
Yeah, I was the same way. It was just this stupid kid, like long hair equals female. Yep. That's just how it goes.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I even placed a gender on Zero, honestly. So that's interesting. I can see that though, for sure, especially as a kid.
I did for some reason.
No, you're a kid. That's fine.
Yeah. That's always stuck with me, and I always remember that. Like, oh yeah, I always thought Zero was a girl. I mean, I like how Zero shows up and hits him and saves you and takes out Vile and then tells you some little history or something that I have no idea what the hell happened because I don't remember because I didn't pay attention. But
yeah, just tells him you're not strong enough to defeat him, but you will be one day. Let's go do a thing and hunt these Maverick. Let's leave Sigma alone for a bit and let's power up and get some more goodies in your tool belt. And then you get to the stage select screen. And get the adorable music. I love the music of the password screen. Of course, now as a modern gamer, I ignore it completely because of save states, and I don't really need to.
It's very calm and peaceful.
It's wonderful. It's such a nice little relaxing ditty and you get the little cute hard hat guys just hanging out. It's just lovely.
I fucking hate Mets. I've always hated Mets. I will never like Mets.
What is that? What they're called?
They're called the little helmet guys. Yeah.
Okay, I call them cute little helmet guys. They're fine.
Bastards. I've gotten hurt so many times and killed by them over in Mega Man games over time, so I do not like them.
They're a staple.
I know. I just don't like them.
That's fine. It's okay. I think they're cute.
One thing about the map screen that I had forgotten with this game until I was watching videos of while we're talking is you can, when it shows the 8 bosses, you can either toggle it so you see like a screenshot kind of like drawing of their stage, or you can have the map mode where you see like where it is located on this area of land that you're attacking to take out these Reploids.
Yeah,
or
their specs. Cool, it shows you their attacks. Yeah, that's cool.
I actually used the specs a couple times this time around because I couldn't remember which face was which robot, and I knew which order I wanted to do. I used the suggested order, which is ingrained in my brain. I couldn't remember which picture it was. So
I do not know the suggested order at all. I have issues, and I play most of this game with Buster only because I'm stupid.
Don't feel bad about that. That's common. I used to do that a lot, and just recently have I realized as an older gentleman, I realized that if a game gives you something to play with it.
Yeah, for
sure.
Don't
hoard. You don't need to hoard this stuff. You can always replenish. And that's something I did a lot more this time around and had even more fun.
My second playthrough, my first playthrough on the Super Nintendo emulator, but I only did Buster the second time I played through it. The next day when I played on PS2 to help unlock Mega Man Battle and Chase for a future episode. And I ended up using all the different weapons. I actually didn't sit on the one thing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try. And so I played a little differently, but yeah, I have an issue with games like that where I like to hoard things. I don't need to hoard.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to have in your brain, especially if you played a lot of retro games where it's almost required. Like you just feel like I can't use my Mega Elixir because what if I run into a dude and I need my Mega Elixir, and then you forget you have the Mega Elixir because you've never really used it.
I need to hold all 10 for the final boss.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that probably will be too overpowered anyway because you grinded. Go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry.
Oh, I learned that lesson when I played Prey 2017. Where I went through the first time to get the trophy for not getting any of the typhoid powers. And then the second playthrough, I only used those. I'm like, wow, this is a lot more fun using abilities to turn into cans and throw things across the room and all kinds of fun stuff. So when I replayed this last week, I definitely tried to branch out and use some of the weapons more often. And as far as the stage order goes, like, always chill penguin first.
Yes.
Gotta go get those boots.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, I don't even know what chill penguin's weakness is because I've never used it.
Fire.
I've always
naturally fire. Games have dictated that ice are weak to fire.
I mean,
you say naturally fire, but Mega Man 1, Fireman was weak to Iceman, so even Capcom got it wrong.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, good point.
Well, hey, in Pokemon, I mean, fire is super effective against ice.
Yep, as it should be.
Yep. So Chill Penguin is we got that level. I mean, okay, this is a game where I actually played the music the entire time I played this game, both times, which is not me, but it comes from that time in my childhood where it's like I just need to hear the music, and I love this music so much, and like that Chill Penguin stage, I can't remember how the music went, but just that stage, everything about that stage is just a fantastic first boss stage. I mean, you get we were talking about, you get the dash boots, which let you dash in this game, which as all I did after that is I just dash everywhere because I mean, why would I go slow?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Like and that stage is not that hard. It's the boss isn't that hard. He's easy to take out with just a buster. I mean, hell, I can even beat him, the guy who's not good at Mega Man games, without getting hit majority of the time.
Yeah,
just using just buster. I suck at Mega Man games.
Yeah, he's pretty cake, and it's a great. Like you said, it's not intended really to be a first level because I think that the opening assault with the snowball throwing robots and. It does require it's a bit of a challenge spike because you don't have much health at that point. Those things take out a pretty healthy chunk. Once you get past that, though, it's pretty straightforward. You get your dash boots, which I mean, it's not required for the game, but the game tells you need this. You need this. You don't. Yeah. You can. Yeah, I mean,
they're not required to use, but they're required to get. Like you have to get them to progress.
Yes. And you have to get them for Sigma stage, and it's really. I mean, they make no qualms about it. Here it is. Walk into this. There's no option. And man, do those dash boosts. This is the first time a dash was introduced in a Mega Man game. Yeah. And boy, oh boy, does that just expand your range of play. Being able to, because think about it, in previous Mega Man games, you could not control your speed. You walk and you stop. That's all you do.
You slide.
And you can slide. Yes, you can slide.
But it doesn't make any faster. I don't think.
Which the slide is actually never terribly effective, and it's got almost a unitasker. You can get under some enemy. I mean, it's used a lot for getting under enemies and such, but it's this dash though just opens up a whole new range of play and range of movement, and it is again you and also I love the fact that it gives you options, like it's mapped to a button, or you can double tap and do a little dash.
I didn't know you could double dash.
You just double tap and you do a little. Yep, a little dash or a long dash, and you have full control, and that's what the beauty of that dash is. It just opens up the game to so many more possibilities, which is why you should really do Chill Penguin first.
When I was a kid, I never knew there was any other power-ups besides the boots. The first time I played this game and got to the Sigma stages, I had no idea there was a helmet, a cannon, nothing. I never saw any of that.
They're pretty well hidden.
Yeah,
they are. You gotta know where they are. Yeah, you gotta do a lot of hunting around to find them. But man, you better.
It makes the game. That's the other thing about this game. Like I suck at original Mega Man games. Like I can't really play them at all. But like this game, even without I was using save states, yes, but I didn't need to use save states all the time. I could just sit and just mess around because I would be all right. Because one, you have the heart. Every level has a heart container, like Legend of Zelda, where you can increase your health. So you get 8 upgrades to your health, which just gives you enough health. Plus, you get 4 sub-tanks you can fill up with energy, which also going to take care of you. Like, this game gives you the abilities to be able, like, you're going to beat this game whether or not you suck at Mega Man or not. You will have the ability to do it.
You at least get to Sigma. Whether you beat him or not, that relies on your skill.
I mean, energy tanks, you can cheese them. Everything with the final fight, you can cheese, which we'll talk about. I cheesed.
You can cheese, most of these, and especially if you know the order and you can use special weapons. I mean, that's it's putting it into pseudo easy mode. But
what is the second boss that you tackle, Bill? Because I don't know the route.
Storm Eagle is the recommended second. The reason is because in Storm Eagle you can also get the helmet, if I'm not mistaken.
You are right, yes.
Yep. You get the helmet. So again, the idea is A, you want to make sure you get the complementary weapons, and B, get the upgrades as fast as possible. You also get your first E-tank, or your sub-tank rather, which again is that battery that stores up energy, which by the way is phenomenal because you get these really cool signals that you're filling it up as you're gathering. So if you have full energy, you get a different sort of tone as it fills up, and it's just so satisfying to know I'm storing energy. Because there's nothing really worse than picking up a great upgrade and not using it. You're like, oh, dang, I have full energy. I got a big health icon.
Storm Eagle is a fantastic level too. Like you're
It's my
in an
favorite.
airport.
It's my favorite.
I mean, I hated it as a kid. As a kid, I died a lot. As an adult, I didn't really fall at all. I was like, yeah, this is not bad at all. Like, this is fine. I played enough games since then, but it's fantastic. And one of the other things that's so, like, even the fight with Storm Eagle, like, he's not a hard, like, I can see why he's next because he's not hard. You don't need a weakness to kill him. You just need to be patient and not think you're a speedrunner when you're not and keep trying to dash and shoot him when he's dashing across the screen. He goes diagonally. I kept trying to shoot him. I'm like, what am I doing? I died. I'm like, I'm not a speedrunner. Just wait and be patient. Then I killed him, no problem.
Yeah, he's definitely doable without the dash boots, but man, does that make it so much easier.
Dash in the tornado and hit him while he's wasting time trying to, not do anything to you.
Yeah, it takes a while, but yeah, he's pretty straightforward when you get the pattern. And like you said, Michael, man, you need those dash boots. I can't imagine doing it without.
I did it without before because when I was a kid, even though I didn't use the dash boots like I should have, I'm pretty sure for some reason. I played Mega Man wrong when I was a kid completely.
That's the beautiful thing about this game. You can't play it wrong. Like you play it the way you want to play it. However it works for you, you play it. You play it in any order. If you don't have the right weapon for the right time, if it's not an optimal experience, okay, but it'll still gives you. It's just maybe more challenging, but
it was a lot harder than it
do it. Yeah, you can still do it and have a good time because. If you don't have the special weapon for the special boss, then you just have to rely on, instincts and rely on pattern recognition and rely on your reflexes and to get the job done.
Yeah, you can only play this game wrong if you don't ride on the cars in the intro stage, like we said.
I don't ride on the cars either.
Yeah, if you don't do that, just reset and.
I just blow them up. I don't ride on them. I don't know why I don't like them.
There you go. The Game Genie didn't tell you that. That's what you need to do.
Game Genie didn't help me because there's actually bosses that can hurt you even with Game Genie on. There's a couple.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
It works. Yeah.
It's just because there's certain attacks that I guess hit the sensors a different way where the game registers damage differently, and the code I had doesn't protect you from those certain attacks. There's only a couple, but there's a couple attacks that will hurt you. And somehow I still died just to those attacks as a kid, and I don't know how.
Hey,
I was not good at games when I was a kid.
Storm Eagle was the first time they broke the mold, too, about the boss arena, where it wasn't just a little room that you're in like you did. Or six games before this, and then any boss you fought before him in this one. It's cool to get up there, and it's just this wide open area, which has to work for him since he flies around, like we mentioned.
But also, like, when you beat Storm, like, one thing that's so interesting on Mega Man X, too, is when you beat certain levels, they affect other levels. Like, by beating Storm Eagle, his ship crashes in the Spark Mandrill's level, completely altering that level, which I've never seen without beating Storm Eagle first.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That's exactly right. If you beat Storm Eagle first, it crashes, and then Spark Mandrill stage is essentially 50 times easier. And it's funny because I always did the recommended order, which Spark Mandrill is next, and it's cake because the floor is broken, so you can just go on the floor where it's usually going to hurt you. And half the electricity doesn't work. It knocks out the electricity in the entire level, and it makes that at least that first and third section extremely easy. So that's a pretty cakewalk Spark Mandrill stage when it's turned off. I don't think I've ever played it on.
I haven't. I never. I was watching a video where I saw someone play it on. I'm like, what? I've forgotten that I alter those levels so much by doing that. But yeah, you can. The only thing hard about Spark Mandrill's level is that fucking mini boss. It's just so annoying because I don't know his weakness, so I just hit him with a buster all the time.
That's another reason why I do Storm Eagle first. Is you get that Storm Tornado and I remember it as a kid just ripping mini bosses apart, but I kind of struggled on this one. But
he's really annoying.
Yeah, is that the one the bubble? I can't remember.
Bubble, yeah.
The electric bubble. Yeah, you need the Storm Eagle is definitely the way to go with that. It's good because it hangs out on the screen a long time. It can do multiple hits in one shot, which is very effective for that boss because it's so big, right? And it just allows you to get all those hits in at once. Yeah, once you have that Storm Eagle, it's pretty straightforward. But if you don't use it, it's really challenging because, again, he throws lots of the water bubbles that stick you to the ground, and then he electrocutes you. He's very big and hard to dodge. He has that really cool stretch effect.
If you beat Storm Eagle stage first, he has another attack that we never see because we always use Storm Eagle first, where he shoots electricity down like a big burst, but we never see.
Oh,
we don't
really?
See it.
Yeah,
okay,
it just puffs.
Huh. So he shoots electricity down at you like the Cloud in Kirby. Is that what he does? Just because zaps you?
Yeah.
Kracko. I heard that episode, by the way. I adore Kirby's Dream Land. I'm with you all the way, Michael.
Sorry for all the things.
Awesome.
Okay. And you also said a lot of nasty things about Super Mario Land, to which in my brain I said, how dare you? How dare you?
Hey, 2's amazing.
It's a little Super Mario Land. He's never hurt anybody. Just hanging out in the periphery of the Mario universe. Just leave him alone.
One's not. I forgot we bashed one.
Ooh, you guys killed it. I'm not trying to get off topic, but boy, oh boy, I was like, yikes. I play the game once every 6 months. It's so fun game. It's
a fun game to plug in for 20 minutes and get through it.
It's a lovely little snack.
Not as much fun as this game, I was surprised.
Well, I mean, this is nearly perfect, so I mean, it's a high benchmark.
It really is. What's the third boss then in recommended order?
So Spark Mangel's third. To beat Spark Mangel, the ice is basically easy mode. Just time your ice shot, and he just won't get a shot off. Without that, he's a pretty challenging boss.
Never fought him without it.
Yeah, he'll throw giant spark balls that go on the ground and then up the walls, so you can't really cheese the wall jump, which you can with a lot of bosses. He also rushes at you, which requires some timing, and he's big, so he's hard to dodge if you're not, again, sticking to the wall and timing yourself. But with the ice praise, very, very straightforward.
That's one thing I wanted to bring up about the Mavericks is they're so much bigger than the Robot Masters from the original series, which were all about the same size as Mega Man. But since on the Super Nintendo, they have bigger sprites to work with, and they all look phenomenal.
I like it better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no question. I like Spark Mangel's little Christmas lights on the body. It's like the worst Christmas display, though. It's just like, blink, 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 and then he drops. It's pretty cheesy, but it's kind of delightful.
He's a good boss. Like, I mean, especially with the fact that I ice him every time. I've never fought him without ice, because that's just how you fight him now. And I really like that fight with ice. I forgot he's one of the ones I always remember the weakness, because I remember as a kid when I first found it, so I just never not do it now. And I can't imagine not doing it.
It's just do it. I mean, it's honestly, basically, it's just one of those things. You just do it.
It is interesting hearing the actual order how you're supposed to do this, because I've never done this in actual order, so it's interesting to me. What's the next one? Flame Mammoth I always fight Flame Mammoth twice for some reason. I always take him. I fight Chill Penguin, and I always go for Flame Mammoth.
Oh, second. Yeah. Okay.
You should.
Then you got to come back after you get the helmet, so you can get the Buster upgrade.
Yeah,
right. And that's why that is so. Flame Mammoth stage is pretty neat. Again, fire, and I believe some conveyor belts and the standard stuff you'd appreciate.
Way easier.
Boy, oh boy. If you say again.
If you take out Chill Penguin first, like everyone does, like that level gets altered. Like you were talking about the lava, it's all frozen. Like everything in that level is easy. It's
much easier. Yeah, but you're right. That to get the X Buster, the upgraded X Buster, is probably one of the worst parts of this game, because it is so. It took me 15 minutes. I could not get the timing right to just. So the way it works, if you haven't played it, and if you haven't played it, turn this off and play it. You can get through it in an hour and a half. It's not like. It's not like it's a 50-hour epic. You can do that.
Make sure you come back.
Just come back. Well, let's be honest. You already clicked on it. We see it. It's like we got the dopamine hit of a like, so that's fine. But jumping in the the idea is that you have a little platform that has a pretty good runway on it, and the idea is you have these bricks that you can break with your head, suspended from the roof. But you have to catch the very corner of those bricks and then hammer on that jump button if you catch it to wall jump and get just enough leverage to break the bricks with your head and get up to it. It's very challenging, but man, that upgraded X Buster is exceedingly good. And it's not only good, it's very good, almost impractical, because it takes so long to charge up. So we didn't really talk about the tools. Around. Yeah, exactly. And especially there's a lot of enemies. We didn't really talk about the tool set too much, but the original X Buster has 2 levels of charge. Your first charge is a little green blast, and your second charge is the big, the big shot. And then the third one is very effective because not only does it shoot a crazy red wave, but it also throws a little shield behind you, a little momentary shield that protects you from back attacks too. So it just takes a long time to charge up. I think it's like a good 5 seconds. It also gives all of your robot abilities a secondary ability, which is vital. Please tell me y'all know about the secondary.
I know it. I don't use it. I know it exists.
Oh my God. I will explain the best one in the game, which is coming up in about 3 bosses. Some of them are kind of useless. Some of them are neat to have if you can deploy them well. And some of them I think are absolutely vital to making your life easier in Sigma. So
the Flame Mammoth one always bugged me because when you shoot it normally, it's just a flamethrower where it's constantly out. But if it charges all the way up, then you stop shooting to hold the charge, and it always kind of bugged me.
Yeah, that's the one you get from Flame Mammoth. Flame Mammoth is
Yeah.
very straightforward. A storm tornado is how you take care of him. Again, because he's so big, and you can get in a couple of hits per shot.
Oh, I didn't know this until this week. You can actually take off his trunk.
Yeah. Rolling cutter or
Boomer Clinger thing.
Right.
Whatever the hell it's called.
I can never remember if Rolling Cutter is him or Cutman, because they're very similar.
I think Rolling Cutter is Cutman, but I could be wrong. I'm not a Mega Man expert.
I think Rolling Cutter is Cutman. This one is called. I'm just looking at it. It's called Boomerang Cutter. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know that from my brain.
They function basically identically. So.
And then you get the when you finish up with Flame Mammoth, you get his flame, which is a very effective little weapon. I use this twice. I use it quite a bit, actually. And there's one section in particular we're going to come up on where I used it. Mm-hmm. It's extremely helpful. It's really the only way to get a heart container.
To break that container.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to do that to get it.
I don't think you. Yeah, I think you have to. I don't think there's a choice in the matter.
I used to think you needed it to get the helmet upgrade in Storm Tornado, but I found Storm Eagle, but I found out that you could actually break that open with any like Boomer Coanger's weapon if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have pictures of flames on there, so.
Yeah, so I always thought I would get Flame Mammoth and I go and do it with Flame Mammoth, and then I found out.
Oh no, you can just. No, I just spam it. I just wall jump against it and keep shooting until it blows up. It's got a fire on it. It has to blow up. That's just the language of games. I always thought
you had to have fire until
today. No. You can just shoot it. That's fine. Just shoot it. There's also... Oh, I just had something in my brain and I lost it. Never mind. The stage is nondescript for Flame Mammoth, but the boss is pretty straightforward, though. He's pretty big and lumbering. You're on a conveyor belt, so this is the second level here where it's a large arena. So you have this kind of cool conveyor belt that adds a little bit of challenge.
Gave me a lot of trouble. A lot more trouble than I felt I should have had with this boss. Okay. I got my ass handed to me almost. I'm like, what is going on here? Part one, I don't use his weakness, but because I didn't know it.
Yeah, and it's not more of a weakness. It just gets it done faster. It's not like it's actually causing any effects. So you still have the challenge of dodging and avoiding. But also the conveyor belt limits a lot of your mobility. So you're kind of just not stuck, but you don't have as much mobility to dodge and dash as you normally do.
Yeah, which is the incentive to cut off his trunk, because that's how he changes the direction of the conveyor belt.
He does
the elephant trumpet, and if you cut his trunk off, then he can't do it. So.
Yeah, and I like that. Yeah, I never knew that until I was kind of again reading up on this for the show. So, and I like elephants a lot. So for me, his design is fun. I'm really into elephants. Elephants are awesome.
Okay, I learned something new about Bill today.
Yeah, I love elephants.
I don't know. He's just not my favorite boss, but that's because I play him wrong. I like the level a lot.
No such thing as playing Mega Man X wrong, my friend. There's the optimal, and then there's suboptimal. There's suboptimal and optimal. There's no wrong. That's what's beautiful about it.
Who's the fifth guy?
So the fifth in the again suggested order is Armored Armadillo.
Okay, Armored Armadillo is my second least favorite boss, except now I know how to fight him more correct. But that level, when I was a kid, that level just was terribly hard for me, and now as an adult, I'm like, this level is simple as hell.
Yeah, this level is the great. Has a couple of cool elements in it. It introduces the cart with the spikes on it, because I guess if you're in a mine, all your carts have to have spikes. Every means of conveyance needs to have some sort of dagger on it. So, which again, extremely satisfying. You just kind of ride it and cakewalk through entire sections. Carts are always fun. Donkey Kong Country told us that.
I was going to cite that as the wrong way to do it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm talking too much. Go ahead, Michael.
No, you're all right.
What do you think about?
I was just going to crap on the Donkey Kong Country minecart levels. They're still tough, even now.
Yes, but this cart is fun. I love how this level starts off, and this is the best spot to fill your energy tanks and get extra lives, which I used a lot at this point.
Oh, yeah, because the original Mega Man bat.
Yep, he's one spot, and he drops extra lives pretty frequently, actually.
Yeah. There's that one section. This is basically the recharge level. So if you kind of fail at Sigma or just need your energy tanks restored, this is where it is. Those bats are just constantly dropping health and constantly dropping.
It's just it's a great design level. Like I used to hate. There's these two like digger things that kind of chase after you at one part and can kill you in one hit when you have even with Game Genie on. Because they're spikes, and I remember having such a hard time with them. But now I'm like, I just shoot them when they die. Like it's simple.
Is this what you're referring to, Bill, about the Flame Mammoth weapon of taking the Yeah. Okay.
Oh
You
yeah.
just use the flame, and you can defeat it in about 4 seconds because it creates constant damage. And these tanks don't have any recharge. Most standard enemies don't have a recharge or
The invincibility for
an invincibility effect. Thank you, an invincibility effect. Except if you're a boss, so you can just wail on this thing with the flame, and it's gone in 5 seconds. And in here, there's a heart container. If you just not savvy enough, or go back to
go ahead of the guy. Well, no, the energy tank is behind the first one. The heart tank is the second one where you just have to kill him and then rush in front of him.
Right. I think it might be but whichever it is, yeah, you're right. It's the there's special weapons or special items for both. But yeah,
Cool,
the flame is what you use for that, and it's pretty great.
Armadillo is just like, I also love the way I got to talk about the way this level ends, where you're on a freaking minecart and you just follow this minecart, then it just takes you out of the tunnel and you're just in the sky and you have to just jump off it to where the boss door is. And
it's glorious. It's glorious. It's just a wonderful, wonderful moment. Of just freedom.
Armadillo, even with save states, I had to kind of cheese him because I was having a terrible time trying to kill him this time around. I hate that boss so much.
Did you use Spark Mandrill's weapon on him?
I did, and I still hate him.
Really? Okay. I was going to say,
Spark Mandrill takes off his armor, which is so cool, makes him so much weaker, but he's still an asshole.
It's a random thing. You have to understand how he's bouncing, and it requires a lot of wall jumping. Before we get to the boss, did anybody get your Hadouken on this play?
Oh yeah, of course.
See, I didn't. I didn't. I decided to not look at anything. I couldn't remember where the final sub tank was. And I was like, forget it. I will deal with a non-optimal playthrough, and that's kind of what I did. But yeah. So obviously, in case you don't know, there is a secret capsule here you can only get at the end of your game. You need to have full health, all the sub tanks, all the heart containers, all the upgrades. And at the very end, when you're flying in the air, you jump. Or at the very end, you can just get up there. It's actually
you just have to die 4 times in a row, right there.
Wait, what?
After you have everything, all heart containers, all energy tanks. You don't have to have full health or energy tanks full, but then you go there and you have to do this part 4 times. Jump up, go to where the end of the level Armadillo is and die, and then keep doing that. If you do it 4 times, the 5th time the capsule will be there.
Really? I didn't realize there was a death requirement.
Yep.
I just died. I don't know.
You only would. I mean, whoever first found this had to be completely just fucking around for some reason and just showed up.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't realize there was a death requirement. Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't, because it would have frustrated me. Like, wait, why is it showing up? I got full everything. What's going on here? So anyway, but yeah, the Hadouken is how you can one shot all the forms of Sigma. Although, God save you if you can do it on the last one. I have no idea how you pull that off.
Can?
Yeah, evidently you can. It's really, really hard to do. But you can one shot both the doggy and
I
Darth
did that
Vader Sigma.
Yep, I did that too.
Well, I didn't, so I actually played against the 3 bosses legitly without that special treat. So anyway, not saying I'm better than anybody else. I used I did the suggested order. But Armadillo's fine. I think he's good. It's requiring you to really read angles. Got to really read his angles and understand how he's moving. It takes a couple tries but I think it took me 1, maybe 2 tries. But that's fine. Spark is
not a bad
help.
Boss. There are no bad there are no bad regular bosses in this game. He's just one I don't like.
Good save.
Yeah, that's a good save. Yeah,
because the Sigma stuff it's bad.
I don't say bad. It was the spiders.
Fun.
The spider is kind of lame.
We'll go with fun. We'll go with not fun.
That's fair. Okay, but we'll go there. So
okay, now I need to complain about something. So the next boss, as I pulled up the order myself, is Launch Octopus. Okay, I had played this game many times. I've looked at this box art many times. I've looked at this manual. Why the fuck is Launch Octopus purple on the cover, yet he's red in the game? I will never understand that. There's got to be some reason. I'm sure none of us can answer that question.
No, I don't. I don't know.
It's bugged me for years, even though it's stupid. It doesn't matter, but it's bugged me.
I mean, I'll be the one who says the hack line. At least it's not the Mega Man 1 box art. There's your hee-haw line of the day.
I actually love Launch Octopus level. Like, it's a longer level, and it's, in my opinion, the 2 times I played through this game, I fought him second to last because I hate his level. I mean, I hate his level. I just don't like. I didn't like him for some reason. I didn't want to fight him. I think it was just fear for no reason. The first time I waited till the second time I beat him a lot earlier because he's really easy, but I was scared of him for some reason. Because in his level, he has 3 mini bosses, 2 stupid little like subs. You have a green optional sub that you can knock down that unlocks a 4th mini boss that gets you a heart container, which is like a giant eel thing that I was scared of as a kid. That's really simple as hell when you're an adult.
Yeah, he's very slow moving and straightforward. This Storm Eagle makes short work of him.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
Oh yeah, because again, it's continuous damage. And...
I just bustered him in the face.
Yep.
I had a hell of a time with those subs, especially the second one with all the spike pits around.
Really hard.
They just kept taking damage. I'm like, I don't remember the mini bosses having so much health when I was a kid.
No, there's one in particular later on that
we'll get. I was just gonna say,
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're almost there. It's just Long Octopus stage. It's just so interesting because you're underwater, so your jumps are different and you can play differently. Like it's a really cool and unique level.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Long Octopus, he's one of the bosses that can hurt you even with the Game Genie code that I had, because when he sucks you, it still takes your health. And I had such a hard time with him, even though he's really fucking simple. You can use Boomer Kuwanger to knock off his tentacles. I found out too this time.
Yes. Yeah. If you use that cutter, you can knock off his tentacles, which removes one of his. Then he just shoots torpedoes, which are still hard because they fan out in an unpredictable fashion. They're just kind of, and they're very difficult to dodge. The weapon to use for this is Rolling Shield. Wait, no, sorry, because you don't have. He gives you Rolling Shields. Yeah. So
Rolling Shield is from Armadillo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm right there.
Homing torpedo.
He was homing. So yeah, you use Rolling Shield. It takes a good chunk off. You just have to be pretty close and precise because Rolling Shield just rolls. So and he does a lot of jumping. But you can kind of just like DPS your way into this and just kind of basically just kind of trade blow for blow and you'll end up winning. It's really that's the best way I always kind of approached him.
I didn't want to say him for no reason. I found out.
Yeah, he's not too bad. He's fine. The one thing I will say about the water level is I have a friend who I occasionally write for, the Well-Read Mage. I think I've mentioned him on different shows.
You have.
And he posited on Twitter that water levels get a bad rap because there's only like 3 or 4 bad ones, and everyone else gets a bad rap because of those 3 or 4. Of course, the Water Temple and Ocarina and Devil May Cry. Right, a few of those that are bad. And I thought about it, and I'm like, he's got a really good point. The problem with water levels usually, and X avoids this, is it takes away one of your verbs, and it doesn't give you anything else. So all the level is one big hindrance. In this case, it's great because it removes your mobility left to right, but it gives you a higher jump. You can soar through the air with your jumps, which is a really cool which is cool, which is a good mechanic, and that's how water levels need to be, because if you remove one of my tools, I am frustrated. It's not like an added challenge. I'm just annoyed that I can't do one of the things I've learned how to do.
Yeah,
you're not trading abilities. You got trade. Yeah, it's not very satisfying, but jumping crazy high in the air, extremely satisfying. And yeah, those subs are hard, man. I died numerous times on them. Especially the second one with those really small platform, and that's where the double tap dash really helps, because you can kind of stay on that platform and just keep yourself aloft, but you have no idea when that thing ends. So you're in the middle of a double tap or a dash, and boom, you're right into another pit of spikes. So very challenging, but it's pretty rewarding when you finish it off. So.
At least you're not swimming around defusing bombs underneath the dam. Talking about bad water levels.
That game was almost on the show, actually.
One tiny mistake, and that's it.
I never want to play
beating
that
part as a kid, but I can't imagine how I did. So
yeah, we'll get there someday, I'm sure.
Wow, I never had it. So
not the whole game, just the damn part.
Okay.
For those who don't know, that's the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
For NES, which is god-awful.
Yeah.
One of the worst water levels ever made.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
They're not wrong.
So are we down to just Boomer Kuwanger now?
And Sting Chameleon still. But
yeah, right.
Boomer Kuwanger is another level that I avoided as an adult my first time through it last weekend, because I just remember not liking it. But it's not bad. It's a fine level. It's fine. Boomer Kuwanger's not hard. He's another one that can hurt you when he grabs you and throws you in the air. That would also hurt you with Game Genie. So I had PTSD with these two bosses where I stayed away from them and realized these are simple. Why am I staying away from them?
Yeah, again, you have to know what to do with it. I like Boomer's level's okay. It's a pretty standard forest biome where you're just kind of forest and mechanical birds spitting out mechanical grubs.
Boomer Kuwanger is the tower.
Oh, see, I'm thinking of Sting Chameleon. Forget everything I just said. Sorry, Sting Chameleon.
It's a fun level.
like Boomer Quangers. It's hard. It's probably the most challenging for me. There's a couple of instances in this because it's so vertical, right? And it really lives on those side scrolling, side climbing turrets and the enemies that have the chainmail, which are really, really challenging because your timing has to be perfect. And if you get hit in a side scrolling level, you just get hit. If you get hit going up and down, you fall. And of course, everything respawns, so you get to do everything again. It definitely causes some frustration. A huge thing, and this is where I'll talk about the launch octopus, the rolling shield, where if you charge it up. So if you charge up the rolling ball, you get the rolling shield. And it's just a shield. And a shield that one-shots most small enemies.
Oh, I never really
just go up, and everyone just bounces off you and dies, especially towards the end where you're scaling the side of the tower. You can basically just walk up the tower with the rolling shield on and just one-shot everybody. So the rolling shield is vital in a lot of the game. Sigma, it's vital. It's extremely vital on the approach to Sigma. It's the best charge weapon in the game by a pretty large margin. The rest of them are not terribly useful, at least for me. I never really used much of the other ones. So.
Yeah,
I only use the Sting Chameleon.
Yeah, the invincibility, that's pretty useful.
That is usually.
This is the stage I use a charged weapon in too, but it's a different weapon and a different reason. So what is it? The heart tank? And this one you're supposed to come back with the boomerang cutter to grab it. Yep. I just use the penguin sled, the Chill Penguin's ice shotgun. So I just shoot off to the right side and then jump off it to get that little extra height to grab the thing so I don't have to come all the way back through it.
Neat. I never thought of that. See how great this game is? You had a different method. It gave you multiple ways to get it, which is awesome. Yeah, wow, I never thought of that. That's a pretty good idea. That's the only reason I think you'd ever use the sled. There are sections where it kind of telegraphs you can use it.
Actually, you could use the sled to get to the energy tank in Chill Penguin Day without having to climb up and jump over, I just found out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. And you can also use the sled when you're fighting the final boss of Sigma to make a platform up in the top left corner to shoot him easier. I found out too.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never thought of that.
I've been watching a speedrun while we were talking, and that's what he did. So I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That is good. Okay.
Other than that, no, you're not. It's completely useless, unless you're like a speedrunner and someone, you're not going to use it.
But that's good. It's giving you a toolbox that you can use or not use. That's all.
And this game has. Oh, also, I understand what every animal is. What the hell is a Kwanger?
I think it's just a kind of stag beetle.
Okay.
It's a Japanese name for, I think, like a stag beetle. Yes, I think you're right on that. And also, may I just say one very quickly, the aforementioned Well-Read Mage sells a lot of merch on his site. And he's very, very clever in a lot of it. And his most popular shirt, by a pretty large margin, has a picture of Mr. Kwanger on it, and it just says "Okay, Boomer." And the boomer kind of like flies vertically, like an old '70s style shirt. It's very funny. Yeah,
that's cool.
But so if you use the recommended weapons on the bosses, it trivializes most fights. And I think he's the most egregious of them. Because Boomer Quanger just teleports around the screen, but if you use the homing torpedo, it'll lock onto him, and as soon as he reappears, it'll hit him, and then he starts teleporting again, so you just kind of lock him in that loop.
Yep. There's really nothing to it, and it makes it exceedingly easy. Just, hit him with homing torpedoes, and that's basically it. If you don't do that, it'll be pretty challenging, especially with the grab, like you were saying, and the toss. So, but again, these special weapons are... You want to do kind of easy mode, that's kind of what these special weapons are for. And then if you want more challenge later, you do it like Mike did. Just buster it. And you can do that too, which is a very respectable and admirable way of playing if you're into that kind of challenge.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's just I don't know. I tend to play the game like that.
Use your tool set. Play with things. See what works, see what doesn't. That's the whole point.
Well,
I do respect people who try those kind of crazy singular challenges, no stomping through Mario 3 or something like that. Those things. It's cool. I love watching speedruns.
Or no flying in Super Mario World because you just suck at it. I mean, there's that too, right?
Love it. Well, I don't know. Have you guys recorded Super Mario World?
Yeah, look forward to this week's episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's already been out, but yes.
I haven't listened to it yet, Ben.
It hasn't come out yet. It comes out within 7 hours of this.
I'm trying to pretend there's a timeline here that I know what the timeline is. So
don't worry. Only I know the timeline, because the timeline changes periodically when I go, hey, wait a second, I should do this instead. So don't feel bad.
Fair enough.
There's a huge time paradox with the stuff we've been recording. So
I know.
It's bad.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, what I do want to say, the last boss that we haven't covered is like I love the level of Sting Chameleon, but Sting Chameleon has the worst mini boss in this game in his level that gives you the armor. When I was a kid, I thought he's impossible to beat because he has no health bar. He's a giant green robot that can also hurt you with Game Genie code for somehow, and he's just a fucking asshole. And you have to jump up and hit him right in his little beady eye in his head to kill him, and it takes way too long.
Yeah, because like the only indication they're doing damage is every so often he'll have a little steam jet coming out of him.
He starts smoking.
Yeah, but he takes so much damage. It's like I don't remember these bosses having so much health, and even with Storm Tornado, it just seemed like it took forever.
Yeah, I think Storm Tornado is the only way you can even get through this somewhat quickly. He's a bad boss because there's a number of things that's wrong with him. Obviously, he's extremely tanky. As we've just discussed, he's extremely small area of damage. There's no signaling that you're hurting him except the standard, the noise of something landing a blow. And he's boring. He doesn't do anything. He jumps over you. He jumps on the ground. He throws his little grappling hook, and he just does that over and over and over again. And it's just a wrestling match. It's a tug of war just to see who wins first. And you're eventually going to win because there's really no great challenge or interest to it. It's just an endurance test, and endurance tests are not terribly fun in games, in my opinion. You should provide me with some sort of variety and something that requires me to think, not just dash under a robot and then hit him once in the face. It just takes forever. And like you said, just the steam, but you get the body armor, which at this point, if you're following suggested order, completes your outfit. You now officially look incredibly badass, and you take half damage, basically.
It's really good. I didn't know about it until way later as an adult playing this game.
Wow. Yeah, that's makes life so much easier in the coming levels, which are a challenge. This level is pretty basic. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Even with half damage, like you're gonna die. It's rough.
Oh yeah, of course, but it's definitely makes things a little easier in those levels. And then the level itself is pretty straightforward. Just again, forest biome. And Sting Chameleon is, if you have Boomerang Cutter, it's very straightforward. You can get him into a cut loop. If he's hanging from the ceiling with his tongue and shaking spikes from the ground, if you can get him while he's hanging, he will fall and jump up again to the right of you. Again, jump up to the left of you. And you can get into that rhythm and pattern, and he won't be a threat. Otherwise, disappearing, reappearing, kind of standard chameleon stuff you'd expect. Without that, I expect it would be pretty challenging, but again, these are all pattern recognition bosses, and that's what that is.
Yeah, no, and then like the level of Sting Chameleon is kind of fun. I mean, I remember having issues with it, but Sting Chameleon is probably my least favorite boss because he disappears constantly throughout the fight, and I just hate him.
I fought him with the homing torpedo. Like it only does 1 damage, but I didn't have to keep chasing him down. I just shoot it and let it go, and then
his weakness is Quanger, but I use X-Buster for him.
Yeah, it was just for me. Yeah,
it's not very. I can't get it to. I've never been good at getting Quanger to go the way I want it to go. It just goes whatever. It either goes up or down. It chooses. I don't know how to choose it.
Yeah, I think if you're holding up or down, that's how you kind of direct it in the direction you're facing. It's tricky to get. There is a way, but it is tricky. It's not immediately obvious. It's like a rhythm you have to get into. And you're right. It doesn't fire like that all the time. And you kind of shooting it down. You're like, doesn't help. There's no one underground. Come on now, game. Give me a solid. But you can do it consistently. You get into the rhythm of it, and you can do it consistently.
Yeah, if you're a speedrunner, I watched him do it consistently and use Boomer Quanger to grab all sorts of platform things that he needed, and no problem at all. And I'm just like, that's impressive, sir.
It's a wonderful weapon, even because if you charge it up, I believe it's like the big, almost AOE attack where like you get 4 of these giant spinny things. Which again is kind of useless because it takes 5 seconds to actually fire, and the enemies are too fast for that. But it's a great multitasker weapon because you can grab items with it, and so weapons are always great when they do more than one thing. When they can not only harm or hurt someone, but they can also be used for a utility purpose. And this is a great example of it. It's a shame you get it towards the end if you're doing suggested order, because it does make things a lot easier. There's a few pickups you have to have it to get especially Spark Mandrill for the sub tank, I think. But yeah, it's a the boom. Really a phenomenal weapon. Sting Chameleons, not so much. It just shoots in the shotgun blast thing. Although I did use it once during the Sigma stage, which I'll talk about.
And then after that wraps up the 8 good bosses of this game.
Yep. And then you get a cutscene. You get a cutscene of the lore that you've completely forgotten about because no one
care about.
Because you've played an hour and it's been an hour since you had that quick cutscene. And you don't know when Zero shows up and says, "Look at you, you're stronger. Let's go attack the enemy base." And you're like, "Okay, let's go and do that." You bring up the rear. Really? Thanks. So you're still no faith? Defeated 8 Mavericks. Where were you? What were you doing during this whole time? Fine, I'll bring up the rear.
Watching his hair.
Yeah. And then it's the approach to Sigma's fortress.
I mean, I liked it because you first see Zero again, but oh god, the Sigma Fortress's levels are just... I hate them. I hate all 4 of them. I don't enjoy the bosses in all 4. You're just not... The first one's okay. I remember it has these stupid moving platforms you have to jump on, but the first Sigma boss is a giant spider from hell. And I as a kid, I remember getting to this boss and I could not figure out how to hurt him for some reason. I wasn't the smartest kid, I guess. I don't know. But I had a really hard time with the spider because he comes down. He'll do his thing and then he'll come all the way down to you and have like a second charge a shot. You just hit him. As an adult, I had no problem whatsoever. As a kid, I remember him just kicking my ass and he's just so annoying. He's not that hard. Like as an adult, like this is not hard. Just very annoying.
Yeah, because you have a tiny window to hit him before he shoots back up. But even before him, you fight Vile.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he papered over the teary scene. Even before that, on the approach to Sigma's fortress, it's not terribly challenging. Again, you have those giant tortoise missile launchers and a lot of those flying bad guys who hover right above you, which makes those really challenging. That's a pain. That's a real pain. One of the big things people complain about are those the platforms, because again, this approach has again those hovering robots. They're always just right above your head when you're trying to jump. This is where the octopus shield is so good because they just bounce off of you. And you just climb the platforms. So anytime they jump off, they just bounce off of you and they get destroyed. Again, making this the best secondary weapon in the game. But yeah, so you get the scene where you try to fight Vile again in his tank. He still wins. And Zero is captured. He's been captured by the villain, and of course, in a Super Metroid moment, he jumps on the back of Vile, destroying his armor, and then you take him on.
It's very Super Metroid.
And you take him on with his Boba Fett jetpack, and pretty straightforward boss. I don't remember what I used. I might have used homing. Yeah, it's very straightforward. Again, pattern recognition. But what'd you guys do for that guy?
He puts up more of a fight than Boba Fett does in Star Wars. I at least know that much about him. I'm just going to assume I used homing torpedo because it was kind of my go-to, especially going up that climb. Like you said, those flying robots are a pain in the ass. I was just shooting one of those right before they'd come on screen because by that point I died 100 times. So
Right. It's pretty good.
I had no problem with Vile. I don't even remember. I just busted him. I don't remember much about him.
Yeah, I don't even think I wasted, ammo. And then you defeat him, and then you approach Zero, who passes away. Who disappears, I guess, into the ground. I guess that's what robots do when they die. And then,
Zero doesn't show up again until 2.
Oh yeah, he's in like every game after this. So.
Yeah, he's in all of them. Yeah, so it's not like he's gone for good, but at this point in the time, you think, oh, Zero's gone, but you've only had like 3 scenes with him, so I don't feel like I've had that much attachment. It's not a Super Metroid moment. That's Super Metroid. It's esque. That Super Metroid moment is wonderful and one of the greatest moments in games. So, But this guy, I actually forgot he dies. I was like, oh, that's right. He fights it. Okay.
I didn't pay. Again, we were saying before, what story? I just like, oh, it's Zero. Okay, click. Let's go fight some more robots.
And not to harp on this, because we're almost at like an hour 15 at this point.
Yeah, it's longer than I thought.
I figured, because I have so much things to say about this game, because I love it. It even gives you enough control to blow through the text of you don't want to read this? Don't read it. It's not that important. We're not in love with it like we are like X4 and X5, where every 5 seconds, here's a dialogue box. Hey, stop interrupting my game.
you please just let me play the game? Stop interrupting me.
Yeah, you just want to play.
You just blow through it. They even give you the control to forget about the story and just enjoy the game in the way you want, which is great. That's how it's supposed to be.
And it's the second Sigma stage. I don't think we even need to say much about other than, is that the worst boss or not the worst boss? The fucking the two eyeballs and the nose that you have to fight.
It's boring. It's a boring boss. Well, we also forgot to mention that throughout this journey through Sigma, we're fighting the bosses again. The main
you get the refights.
It's definitely better than a boss rush because the game is pretty forgiving on supplying health packs and energy packs and all that sort of thing. And you're gonna die, and there is the refill section towards the very end, so you don't have to worry too much about it.
It's more akin to the original Mega Man where they're integrated into the Sigma levels. It's not like the teleporter rooms, like the later Mega Mans.
I'm not a fan of boss rushes. I don't particularly care for them. I've already passed these tests. Why are you making me retake a test I already passed? I don't understand it. Yeah, it's padding. I've played ActRaiser not too long ago, and the last boss is a boss rush, and
oh jeez,
not a fan of that. But anyway, that's a lovely game. People should play it.
Yeah, the face boss, I don't think there's much to say about him. He's just annoying. And then the final Sigma stage before the final boss, I don't remember much about that stage. I mean, none of these stages really we need to really say too much. But that boss is also I don't know his name, but he's looks like a car, but the top part of the car comes off and shoots things at you, and and he can crush you. It's a really annoying fight. I do not like it at all.
It's just called the bosses in this level in this Sigma Fortress. I'm looking them up. The first one's just called Spider. The second one's just called Face, and the third one's just called Tank. So they really put a lot of they put all their creativity on the bosses that have names pop up. Tank, I actually ended up using the Scorpion Splitter because it always hit him. He was large enough where I would get a shot on both pieces, and I just felt that was easy as opposed to aiming, just kind of letting that spread shot almost every time nail a shot. So I basically kind of just tanked, and again, it was like a DPS fight where just whoever lost life first won or lost life last.
Oh, they do have names.
Great.
What's that?
They do have names. The first one is Boss Spider. Second one is Rangda Bangda.
This is made up. Someone made this up.
I don't know.
Okay.
Last
Are you on the Mega Man wiki site?
Is D-Rex. Where am I?
I don't know.
Well, whatever site I'm on, which is
he's not wrong.
That's funny.
I think it actually is. Yeah, he was not lying to us, unfortunately.
Someone was on LSD when they thought up those gems. My goodness. All right. Well, hey, I stand corrected.
It's on the MegaManFandom.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on a strategy wiki apparently.
Okay.
Well, and there's other versions. There's D-Rex from Command Mission and D-Shark from another Mega Man game. So they bring back this thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. I really want to play Command Mission someday for this show.
Someday. I have it.
I do too. But all right, and then you get to the final Sigma level, which this level also starts off in a way that I have to describe it, where you start off at the bottom of a hole and you just start jumping up. That's it. You just jump up a hole with little worms coming out that serve no purpose, just to irritate you if you even see them. And it gets you ready. Like, you get up here and you see Sigma, and Sigma's like, you're not even worth fighting. Here's my dog. Fight my dog first.
Well, before you continue, I do need to dine on the approach a little bit.
Sure,
it's not useless. That's your recharge station.
Yeah.
Because all you should do is you put on the rolling shield, the octopus shield, and you just stand in front of one of those holes and you just charge up everything. Get 3 more lives, fill up all your sub tanks, and you just keep wall jumping on one of those on holes, and every time one pops out, you don't even see the pickup. You just hear that satisfying sound of life recharging and sub tanks filling.
See, I wouldn't know that because I just go to Armadillo Stage and fill up after every Sigma.
See, that's the thing. I always, that's what I use that way. I have to go back and forth. Yeah. And Armadillo Stage is the standard refill stage. But that's what that's for. Then that way you can just kind of, grind a little bit, get your health, your sub tanks back up to snuff, and then take on the dog, because he doesn't even want to bother with you. My dog will take care of it.
I like that though. Like that was cool to me for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I like it. It's a 3-stage boss fight that has actually 3, basically extremely different bosses. I've heard this is not an original thought, but it's it's something I've taken to heart. Bosses should always be final exams. So they should be testing what you've learned up to that point. That's why Mario bosses are generally not good. I got into a day-long Twitter argument. It was a well-spirited, nice argument with the well-read mage about this. That's because I posited that Mario 3 bosses are very, very bad, and they are. They are bad. And he posited that they are not, and we argued for 9 hours on Twitter. It was a pretty good, but it was, healthy argument. It wasn't like screw you type of the usual thing you see on Twitter where you just devolve to nasty memes and dumb gifs. It was actually a proper argument. And Mega Man does this beautifully because this is a true final exam. There's 3 levels of this, where again, the first boss, the dog is more precision, right? You have a smaller enemy who has the varied attacks. He'll shoot the little fireballs in a high arc. You have to be really good with your wall jump. And then we'll talk about Sigma, and then the final form, which I'm not a big fan of, but the final forms of Mega Man games are generally not great.
It is. God, like the quick Sigma fight when he decides he thinks he's a Jedi, like that's fine because you can Hadouken him. I don't know how it probably wouldn't be easy otherwise, but it's still cool. He looks cool. But the final fight after his head falls down and goes up into the background of this room into a giant Anubis statue, it is awful because I think only the rolling shield hurts him too.
You either your standard cannon or the and I don't know if your regular arm buster will take care of it.
You have to charge it all the way up to the pink one. Only way to hurt him.
Right, because if you don't get the pink buster in the level,
automatically
zero gives it to you before you approach it. You're right.
Right.
And then the rolling is what takes him out. If you guys Michael, did you also use the Hadouken on Sigma?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The first 2 forms.
Yeah.
It's like I still died on him frequently, so I kind of fought all of them multiple times. But yeah, the second form, using Hadouken makes that so much easier than them.
You just have to time it right.
Deal with him and his lightsaber. Yeah,
it's actually the dog is harder actually than regular Sigma because I didn't have it this time, so I didn't obviously use it. All you really have to do is just wall jump to the corner, and if you're not on the ground, he zigzags up in a very tight zigzag. So all you really have to do is just time a descent as he's leaving the wall you're on, get off a shot, and then hit the ground. And as he comes down on his final, rightward descent, just climb back up and do it again. And you can just spam him into this loop of going back and forth. His blocking is pretty cool. This is the first time I think you've experienced anyone who can block a shot, which is pretty neat. But
besides Armadillo,
it's Armadillo, but it's pretty well. Armadillo doesn't actively block, I don't think.
He just has a shield. He doesn't actively block. No,
he'll actually actively block with his lightsaber as if he's Darth Vader. So, but yeah, that's how you can beat him. He's pretty straightforward if you know the pattern and just realize that's a pattern. But then you get to that final one, man, and I don't like fighting stages because especially like Face. Face is a stage. Like you're just fighting a room. Fighting rooms aren't terribly fun because all you're doing is you're taking out little points of damage, and that's really what you're doing in this. You're just
fight.
I've never been a big fan of that when games do that, but it's very challenging. It took me numerous tries, but finally I succeeded, and there's really no great way of doing it. You just got to climb one of those hands, doof him in the face with a rolling ball, or if you don't have any, the buster, and hooray, you win. Or do you?
Well, that's when you have the stupid little. You have the cool ending where he's standing in front of the building, or the base is crumbling, like it's Mario World, and you just got done beating a castle, and that's cool. The first time I beat this game, I just let that go and moved on and did something else. And the next time that I played the game, I saw that it also had something else happen where there's a Sigma pops up and says, "I'm still alive, X," or something like that.
Yeah, my spirit is in it. I need to find another form, which basically means there's going to be sequels. I'll be there. Don't pretend like we didn't tell you.
So in other words, he's Ultron, and they didn't burn him out of the internet. Is what you're trying to say.
Right? Basically, that's basically it. Yeah, the ending's fine. It's standard SNES ending. You get this cool little scene of walking back to your base on that road as the sun is getting brighter. It's really cool. You get all the weird names of the enemies with no context, which is fine. It's your standard kind of SNES ending.
Yeah.
It's not the destination, it's the journey that makes this game
No,
special.
This game is all about just how tight the gameplay is and how much fun it is still to this day. Like, I had a blast playing this game. I played it twice. That's not like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I 100% it too. That's also not like me. So that should tell anyone listening how much I love this game. So, any last things you want to say before we go to questions, comments, or memories?
The way X says Hadouken is pretty adorable.
Oh yeah. It's really Hadouken.
That I didn't know that was in this game until way like that is such a secret that a friend of mine told me about it the first time I found out it existed in this game.
Yeah, it's a Nintendo Power special. You have to have to have the power.
Yeah, you wouldn't. There's no way you would have been able to figure this out if you.
No way.
Tell you, it's too exact. Like the whole idea that you have to kill yourself 4 times after getting everything. Like I could see someone getting everything, running through Armadillo State just for the hell of it, and being like, "Wait a second, what's that?" But you have to die 4 times to see it. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, because if you don't have that, there's a health pack up there, right? So you're like, oh, secret little health pack before I fight the boss. Neat. Okay. So it doesn't even signal that there could be anything up there other than that health pack. And I think you can only throw the Hadouken once.
You can throw it.
You just have to be full health. You can do it as much as you can get the input to work.
Yeah, it's not. I wasn't able to get it that exact. It's also not that fast either. It takes a couple seconds, or it takes a second to pull off, which is a lot of time in a Mega Man game.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, questions, I guess, huh?
All right, let me pull those up because I wasn't doing that when I should have been. All right, first we're going to start with a Mega Man fan group. I actually have a bunch, but I'm not going to read them all, but I will definitely read some. From Carlos Soto, Mega Man X is the best series for me. The music, the characters, the story was something ahead of his time. After you defeat a boss, it would affect the same, and others say it's just awesome. 100% right. From
Agreed.
Jason Kovaton, use a charge armadillo to climb towers in Boomer's level, and on the first castle stage when climbing the platforms in the beginning, nobody ever seems to do that and makes you invincible through both of those areas.
Wait, say that again? So you said armadillo?
Use the armadillo in climbing the towers in Boomer Quanger, I think is what he meant.
Oh, I wonder if he meant the octopus, because that's how I handled it, because that's the rolling shield.
Yeah. No, yeah, he meant the rolling shield.
Rolling shield. Yeah. That's
only torpedo
the
octopus.
Right. He meant. Oh, I keep forgetting that. That's right. Okay. Yes. So he's right. Yes. The armadillos. Yes.
Said my brother won this game at a gaming competition back in the day at a furniture shop called Larson. I remember just pouring through the instruction manual on the way home, excited as all fuck to get home and play it. It's a cool story.
Those instruction manuals are so good.
Yes, they were.
Lots of memories of ripping open games and reading instruction manuals in just giddy anticipation.
Still have all mine too.
Yeah, I got a whole binder full of them.
Do you really? They're sitting in my mom's basement somewhere, probably rotting. They're probably worth something. It's like
in my parents' closet. In a biohazard bag.
Sorry. I used to keep all the boxes, and everything inside them. So I technically, if I went back to my mom's house, when I ever get to do that again, because who knows, we could be in seclusion for the rest of our lives. Thanks, COVID. Thanks, 2020.
It's all a hoax. I had a very, very, in quotation, educated man when I was telling someone, hey, when the vaccine comes, and the guy's like, there won't be one. I want to be like, you.
Okay, truther.
I don't care who you support politically, but again, if you really believe that every country in this world is just trying to hurt Trump, I got news for you. You're an idiot. I could maybe see you could believe, okay, this one news station is being political and they're just trying to hurt Trump. Okay, I wouldn't believe you, but I could buy that. Okay, I can understand you could think that. When you think every country in the world is lying to make Trump look bad, well, I got news for you, buddy. No one cares that much.
Well, I didn't expect commentary like that in our little X game. I was just thinking, okay, Quanger, and then moved on.
But it was okay, Boomer Mike, apparently. Mike gauged it real quick there. My son had COVID, so when the guy said that, I wanted to say something. I can't, but I wanted to say something.
Oh, that's a shame. Sorry to hear that.
He's fine now. I just saw him yesterday, but he's doing fine. But yeah, it made me just go come on, people, it's not fake.
Anyway.
So, more question. From Keith Treadaway. When this game came out, for some reason, I thought the airport was in a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Okay.
So, and then last one I want to read from this group, from Matt Kirchschiss, the first Mega Man game I had ever owned. I had only known about Mega Man from the TV show at that point. My condolences. I was blown away by the design, the music, and the bosses. I spent countless hours playing this with my friends, looking for secret boss weaknesses and new strategy. To this day, my all-time favorite game.
It is.
It's a good all-time favorite game.
It is.
And I have one from the Super Nintendo Super Group I want to read, from Oliver Generit. Really great game. If you really like it, I'd recommend you play Mega Man X4 for the PS, my personal favorite of the saga. Never played it.
Michael, you said yours too?
Yep, I love X4.
Really? I never really got into it. I have to like really replay the series, and a couple years ago I went through a stint where I played all the Mega Man NES ones in a row. Like just kind of
nice.
do them all, and they were all great to fine.
Someday
I gotta do that with X2, the X series. I never really gave it like a full run through. So
X2 will be on the show at some point.
Those legacy collections make it real easy to do.
yeah.
All right, and I'm going to read this one from the Overblood group from friend of the show, Emmanuel Leon Santiago Rodriguez, to get his full name, Commander Lionheart, the guy who will not play Resident Evil. As a kid, I never got around to playing the first X games. I never had a Super Nintendo. I did, however, have a cousin who had the game but never let me play it. I did, however, end up having and playing the hell out of X4, which is my favorite one. It wouldn't be until 3 to 4 years ago that I got to play the original X on my 3DS and loved it. The game holds up super well and has memorable bosses and kick-ass theme songs. I really hope Mike actually listened to the songs in this game. He did! He did!
We didn't talk a lot about the music. We can just we can just basically overarchingly say the music is fantastic. I think my favorite stage music is Storm Eagle. If I remember it, I've been humming it all day. Just so you know, I'm just in my brain. I think it's Storm Eagle, but
the last thing Emmanuel said that I want to read. So needless to say that if I were there talking about it, I would have put it on the shelf. So there's his answer if we wanted to know it.
That's it.
I tried to get him on Ratchet and Clank next week, but he said no. He told me no. All right, and I'll read a couple more from Danny Palacio. The music was amazing, especially the intro level, which true.
Phenomenal. Again, the best one of the best intro levels ever designed. Yeah.
And from Daniel Melman, this was the first game I ever played on an emulator and the first SNES game I ever played. I loved it. Well, you started with the best there, sir.
You sure did. You started.
What am I saying? Oh God, slap myself.
Oh
God.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, that
That's
just. I know. You're the big Chrono Trigger fan. That's right.
What the hell am I saying? And then 6. It's like top 4th, maybe. I did have so much fun playing through this game. Like I beat it twice. It was great. I ain't beaten Chrono Trigger twice when we do it on the show. I can tell you that much. I won't have time in a week.
No.
And then last one that I want to read from Chris M. Mega Man X is the main reason I don't do PC gaming today. I played the crap out of it on SNES. So when I got a copy for PC with a controller, I thought I'd have as much fun. Instead, the game crashed after the opening level, and I never figured out why. Mega Man X was the first game I beat before my brother did.
Love that comment.
I lied. I did own this game. I had it on PC. Oh,
wow.
I still remember the cheat to get all the items is X stuff. You just type it in. It gives you all the heart tanks, all the armor, and everything.
Actually,
wow.
I lied. I'm going to read 2 more. I'm looking at these and I like this. This one from Ray Kuntz. Top 3 favorite game of all time. Also the only game I owned for my SNES for over a year. I could probably do the first level blindfolded.
Yeah.
Wow.
And last one I'm going to read from Steve Lucider. I still have my original SNES cart all these years later. Even if I don't have an SNES anymore, it's an all-time great with its high-paced action, incredible soundtrack, awesome weapons and effects. Everything is true.
Yep.
All true statements.
Maybe not. I mean, I can't believe I was going to say this game is better than Chrono Trigger. What the hell is wrong with me?
I know.
And Link to the Past.
I think this is better Link to the Past, but that's just me.
Well, I disagree. Episode 50, I can hear all about it. But the thing about this game, like, it's a very good pick up and play game. Where Link to the Past and Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, those are not pick up and play. Like, those are like, it's a commitment you're making. This is a game you can pick up and beat it in like an hour. Easy. Maybe not that easy, but you can beat it in an hour.
Yeah.
That's something that's so special about Mega Man X that makes me, like, the fact that I beat it twice in a weekend while doing recording, while doing everything else, I just couldn't stop myself and just kept playing.
So fun.
Something special to me because I don't do that. I'm the kind of guy, I beat a game, we are done, game's over, moved on. And that didn't happen. All right. I think we should go to Shelf or Box. And Mike, why don't you go first?
Oh man. So it's gonna go on the shelf just because of it's basically a pinnacle of early Super Nintendo games. Like it's a huge improvement from the original series. Everything's bigger and better, of course. The bosses, like I talked about at the beginning of the episode, that I love the designs. Like, even through the rest of the series, even Mega Man X7 has cool looking bosses. We won't talk about that game.
We will someday.
No. Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
we cover through series. We might get there. This does good.
No, they didn't make any. They didn't make any more after X4. It's really strange. But speaking of X4, it definitely made me want to keep playing through the first 4 X games because it's such a great series. But that being said, I think I like X3 and 4 a little more than this one, just because there's more stuff to collect, and I don't know. That's fun to me. So I started X3 as soon as I finished this one. It didn't go well, but maybe we'll get to it at some point.
We will. I'm sure. I can guarantee we will at some point. I want to play. I need to play 2 and 3 and talk about it to a live studio audience. I want to make that. All right, Bill. How about you? Stuff for box.
This is not only on the shelf, it's on the highest point in the shelf. It is indeed my favorite game. I think it's my favorite game of all time. Have you heard of Chrono Trigger, sir? I have, and I love Chrono Trigger. I do a series again on the Well Red Mage called Retro Thunderdome, and I did one again. It was Chrono Trigger versus Final Fantasy VI. And while I like Final Fantasy VI more, Chrono Trigger is objectively a better game. So just when you analyze it. But back to Mega Man, the way I like to say about games that are quote unquote perfect, and I don't think that a perfect game exists. The closest game that's perfect is Tetris, because Tetris, I believe, is truly a perfect game. It's an elemental game, and if you ever do a Tetris episode, I demand to be on it.
There will be a mini at some point.
Okay, then it won't be a mini because I'll talk about it for an hour and a half because you can. It's games of this caliber cannot be improved. They can only be iterated upon. You can only build on the shell, and that's how Mega Man X is, because the design of this game is nearly flawless. It's all about play. It feels so good in your hands. It feels buttery, right? It feels almost decadent playing this game because of the range of motion. Obviously you can't fly around the screen like a crazy person, but the levels are beautifully designed around your range of motion. So you have all the tools you need at any given moment to tackle these levels in a variety of different ways. Every weapon, for the most part, has some sort of utility outside of, especially once you get the charge up, outside of its initial ability. The bosses across the board are good. The Sigma ones, some are harder than others and some are more annoying than others. But none of them are, I would say, horrendously bad or game-breaking bad. Just really hard. It's got a cool design aesthetic. It ups Mega Man it just takes him to 3 levels above what he was on the NES. It uses the architecture. There's no dumb, what the hell was it called? Z motion, or what was it? Gosh, dang, like the pilot wings thing.
I don't know.
Mode 7.
Mode 7, thank you. There's no dumb Mode 7 effects for no reason because we have to have that. It's just a beautifully architected game that's, I don't know, I think it's the pinnacle of the series. And I'm interested in playing the rest of them because I really haven't spent tons of time in any of the other ones. Just dabbling.
We know who to talk to when we come on to X2 someday.
That's it. I can't imagine it being better. I can imagine it being an iteration, right? A next version.
I can tell you,
I don't think it's going to improve that. Yeah, those core mechanics aren't going to be better, and that's why this is my favorite game of all time. It beats It took Super Metroid off of that pedestal.
It should.
I'm pretty sure. I'm shocked by it, but
Metroid's not.
Yeah, objectively, it is a better game. So
Metroid just does the. I mean, it starts the Metrovania in a way, but it's not. I like Super Metroid, but not as it's not. It gets too high of a stake just because of what it is, not how good it is.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's like
we'll
redo it on the show someday. I want to redo that game, but that's
Metroid. Yeah. GoldenEye is damn near impossible to play with modern hands.
So 10. We played.
Oh, did you? I can listen to that now. It is damn near impossible to play with modern hands. I tried it at a gaming convention a couple of years ago because it was sitting on a original hardware N64. I picked up that controller. I couldn't move. I'm like, what? How does this work? This is just brutal. But anyway, shelf.
Okay. First thing I need to say is the music in this game was phenomenal. You're not going to hear me say that very often because I think partly it's just that it's from my childhood, so I have to have the music on, and I was just enjoying everything about this game. I play the save states, of course, as everyone knows. Like I own this game in the cartridge hall. I own the Legacy Collection. I own this game too many times, so I didn't feel any guilt playing the emulator. And it's such an amazing game. So when I went into this, I wasn't expecting to have as much fun with it as I did. I mean, the reason Bill's on here because he told me he made a tweet where he's in one of the greatest games, his favorite game of all time. So I'm like, oh, we got to get him for the show. And I did not expect to completely fall in love with this game. Like I said multiple times, I played it twice, and I could almost play it a third time if I didn't have other things I have to do and don't have time. But it's just so much fun. It's such a fun pick up and play game. You run through it. It's not super challenging until near the end, but you can always just beat the 8 bosses and call it a night. Like, you don't need to beat the Sigma stages. Like, just, the 8 bosses where the meat, where the fun is at. And so it's going on the shelf, and I cannot wait to play X2 maybe this weekend, but I am pretty damn busy, so we'll see. But yeah, it was a great game. So glad we did it on the show. Put it on the shelf. Everyone should play it, and there's many ways to go play it. It's on everything, I think. So go play it.
Pretty much.
It's on iOS too. Don't play that version, but go play this game. All right. Any last things to say about Mega Man X? Probably not, because that showed a game earlier.
I'm good.
I also want to give another shout out in case you didn't hear me earlier to Nerd Radio, and there'll be a link in the show notes. I'm not going to say it the way he said it. It's an 8-hour podcast he records every Sunday where he dives into movies, comics, games. So definitely, hey, if you're bored, you got some time to kill, check him out. I think he must live stream or something, but there'll be a link in the show notes to him. So definitely give him a look at if you need something new to listen to. And also, Mike, why don't you introduce what we're talking about next week? Because this is completely your pick.
We're going to be playing the 2002 PlayStation Classic. The original Ratchet and Clank.
And a man you would not come on the show for. I tried. He's like, nope. Anything but one, he said. He would not play one.
I'm kind of with him.
You picked one.
Yeah, I tried to get you to play two, and you said you wanted to start at the beginning.
Well, I think that's the right way to play it.
Yeah, it is.
You're not complaining about one, and I'm like, what? So we'll get there next week, I'm sure. All right, and I think that about wraps up the episode. I think I'm going to go to plugs. First, I want to say, if you enjoyed this episode, tell someone, tell a friend, tell an enemy. I don't care. Make a Facebook post. Let somebody know. It's a great way to help out the show. Costs you nothing. Just let people know that you enjoyed. Let people know you listen to us. And because the more listeners we get, the more I can eventually do with this show. Because I have lots of plans, but I need more listeners to make that happen still. And also, if you enjoyed this episode, we cover Mega Man 1 and 2 in episode 25 with a completely different cast. We also covered... Those haven't come out yet. There will be a Mega Man comic eventually coming out, but that's still not out yet. So the only Mega Man thing to listen to is Mega Man 1 and 2, episode 25. Definitely check that out if you need some more Mega Man, because I don't even remember what the hell I said over a year ago when I recorded that episode. A long time ago. Also, if we do movie episodes, we're going through the MCU movies with this current cast right now. We have just published Avengers recently, so check that out. And those need to be listened to, because they're great. We deep dive into the MCU. We also do comics. We do other random movies, so definitely check those out. And if you like their intro, courtesy of Bubby, a.k.a. Mike Stoney from ZP Bite the Bullet, song The Cool Kid Squad, definitely, you'll see a link in the show notes. Check him out. He does lots of different retro music, which is pretty good. I was listening to a lot of it for an upcoming episode. We might be talking with him, hopefully. And I can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where I'm constantly posting new images of what's going on and new episodes of the show, because I'm constantly releasing episodes twice a week, because I'm crazy. So definitely check all those out, and we will see you guys all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.